Sonic 3 wasn't the peak, it was the starting gun for a much bigger, riskier Sonic movie future.
Look out!
1,000,000%.
And here's where things really shifted. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 didn't just do well, it erased the last bit of doubt hanging over this franchise. Critics who once rolled their eyes at another video game movie suddenly started calling it one of the best adaptations ever made. Audiences showed up too in massive numbers, proving this wasn't just nostalgia carrying tickets, it was genuine momentum. What makes Sonic 3 different is perspective. We all remember the original backlash when Sonic's design first dropped. That moment could have killed everything. Instead, it became the turning point. Paramount listened, course corrected, and earned trust. Sonic 3 feels like the payoff to that gamble. A movie confident enough to focus on its characters while still delivering spectacle. From a studio standpoint, this is gold. Paramount and Sega aren't looking at Sonic as a trilogy that's almost done. They're looking at a long-term cinematic asset with legs. This isn't sequel thinking anymore, it's franchise thinking. The kind where spin-offs, arcs, and multi-movie planning actually make sense. And honestly, stopping now would be insane. You don't pull the plug when the crowd is louder than it's ever been. Sonic 3 didn't close a chapter. It kicked the door wide open. But wait, this part matters more than people think. Paramount's biggest challenge isn't what Sonic story to tell next. It's how much Sonic story to tell at all. Hardcore fans love the deep lore, the timelines, the ancient gods, the complicated emotional bad. General audiences, they just want a fun, fast, emotional ride that makes sense without homework. That's why these movies are loose adaptations, not page-by-page recreations of the game. Paramount knows the danger of overloading viewers with mythology. Too many names, too many rules, too much history, and suddenly people check out. Accessibility keeps seats filled, not encyclopedic accuracy. You can feel the studio's caution in every choice. They simplify, they streamline, they take the idea of a Sonic story and reshape it into something clean, emotional, and easy to follow. That's not disrespect, it's survival. We've seen other franchises collapse under their own weight, buried beneath endless lore and required viewing. Paramount is clearly trying not to repeat that mistake. Each Sonic movie stands on its own while quietly building something bigger underneath it. That's why future films will cherry-pick concepts, not recreate entire games. It's Sonic storytelling with a safety net, and that's exactly why it's working.
Revenge. But what good is a dastardly plot if you can't conspire with family?
There's 2 Eggmen now?
Double your villains, double your fun.
Any last words?
Nice magic marble, real scary. That actually is real scary.
Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, Jim Carrey. His version of Dr. Robotnik is iconic, unhinged, theatrical, impossible to ignore. But Carrey has openly flirted with retirement, and nobody knows how long he wants to keep doing this. Here's the thing though, Eggman can't just vanish. Even when he's not the main villain in Sonic stories, he's always the spark, science, the mistake, the trigger that wakes something far worse. Removing him entirely would rip the spine out of the franchise. So Paramount has options. Carrey could return in a reduced role, more mentor than menace. Eggman could exist as an off-screen influence, his past experiments haunting the present. Or Stone could inherit the legacy, carrying Robotnik's work forward with colder precision. No matter the path, Eggman's science has to remain, because in Sonic's world, every disaster starts with someone pushing technology too far.
Hi there, Big Blue. My name is Rouge.
I'm Sonic.
I do not trust this trash.
Why not?
This is where the next trilogy truly begins. The end credits of Sonic 3 didn't tease random fan service, they set the stage. Amy Rose and Metal Sonic aren't accidents, they're signals. Sonic CD is the blueprint here, and time travel is the key. Imagine this opening. Amy appears suddenly, not playful, not quirky, urgent. She knows what's coming, she's seen it. A future where Sonic loses, where the world is stripped of life and color, replaced by endless machinery. Her knowledge isn't magic, it's survival. Metal Sonic isn't just one enemy, he's many. Cold, efficient copies flooding timelines, overwhelming Sonic not with power, but inevitability. And just when it feels manageable, the truth hits. Something is controlling them. Something is evolving. Something closer to Metal Overlord, echoing Sonic Heroes. Like, what makes this work emotionally is Amy's role. She's not there to chase Sonic, she's there to protect him. To remind him that even heroes can break if they run alone, and Sonic, this version, is older now. A little awkward, a little unsure, unsure, he doesn't brush her off, he doesn't know what to do with her. Structurally, it's clean. Act 1 is the warning. Act 2 is witnessing the ruined future. Act 3 is the stance. Sonic facing a reflection of himself twisted by control and obsession. And somewhere in all of it, a Sonic Boom remix hits just long enough to remind everyone exactly what era this story is pulling from.
Speed has always defined them, but this time, it will be tested like never before. As the world falls into chaos, 5 legends rise. The fearless blue blur.
Just when it feels finished, the final image hits. Water moves wrong, heavy, angry. Chaos doesn't need explanation. You see him and you understand danger. That's the power of this reveal. Chaos is visual storytelling at its purest. No dialogue dump, no lore lecture, just a presence that feels ancient and furious. It also fixes a quiet problem. Skipping Sonic Adventure entirely would have been a mistake. Chaos becomes the bridge, the warning, the next storm is on the horizon, and here's where the universe breathes instead of bursting. Shadow is alive, but throwing him straight back into movies would be a mistake. His story is heavy. Identity, creation, manipulation. That kind of depth belongs to streaming. A Shadow series lets Paramount explore Black Doom, cloning, and his fractured sense of self without rushing. It's also the perfect doorway for Rouge and Omega, characters that thrive in long-form storytelling. Meanwhile, Knuckles works best on the ground. A second season focused on the Master Emerald hunt makes sense. Wade sticks around, grounding the chaos with awkward humanity. And if Rouge shows up, sparks fly. Their rivalry practically writes itself. Spin-offs aren't distractions, they're pressure valves. They keep theaters focused while the world expands quietly in the background.
Those were our best attacks, and they did nothing.
We can't beat Robotnik as long as he's got that emerald. He's too powerful.
Look, we aren't strong enough.
Now the scale explodes. The Chaos Emeralds scatter across the planet, and suddenly the story goes global. This becomes a race not just against Chaos, but against time. Chaos isn't evil for fun. He's wounded, twisted by betrayal and loss. Each emerald he absorbs changes him, making him stronger, angrier, and less recognizable. Visually, it's stunning. Narratively, it's tragic. And the characters split. Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, each chasing an emerald in different parts of the world. Different environments, different stakes. This structure mirrors Sonic Adventure's multiple campaigns without overwhelming viewers. And we finally dig into Knuckles' path. His tribe, their mistakes, their connection to chaos. The history isn't dumped, it's revealed through conflict. Everything converges in Station Square, reimagined as New York City. Skyscrapers crumble, water rises, chaos towers over the skyline, and then Supersonic, bright, furious, desperate. The fight feels earned, massive, unforgettable. But here's the gut punch. The heroes realize something terrifying. Chaos will never stop as long as the emeralds exist, so they make the unthinkable choice. They destroy them. It feels heroic in the moment, sacrificial, necessary, but it's wrong. No emeralds means no Supersonic, no safety net, no reset button. The power that once protected the world is gone, and something breaks in the timeline because of it. You can feel it, like a tremor running through reality, and this decision saves today and poisons tomorrow. In the quiet aftermath, 2 figures watch from afar. Silver the Hedgehog and Blaze the Cat. They don't speak, they don't attack, they observe, and that's what makes it chilling. Time travel, broken futures, consequences of catching up. No other characters could sell that promise harder. Sonic 6 is coming, and it's personal. This is the redemption arc. Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 has a reputation, and Sega hasn't erased it. Crisis City returning in later games proved that. Shadow Generations doubled down on it. The movie fixes the mistakes by removing the wrong elements and keeping the right ones. Elise is gone. The emotional core shifts to Sonic's decision to destroy the emeralds. That act fractures time itself. The future is broken. Silver comes back to stop Sonic, not because he's evil, but because he thinks he has to. Mephiles lurks in the shadows, whispering, manipulating, feeding fear. He's quieter than past villains, creepier, psychological. Silver needs to be cool, telekinesis, raw power, moral conflict. He starts as an enemy and becomes something more. And when Sonic, Shadow, and Silver finally share the screen, it's electric, an Avengers-level collision of speed, rage, and hope. The final battle with Mephiles isn't just physical, it's ideological. And when it ends, Sonic 06 finally gets a story it deserved. And then stop, let it breathe. Endless sequels kill excitement. Audiences need space to miss characters. Sonic 6 should end without teasing the next thing. No post-credits, no promises. That doesn't mean Sonic disappears. It means the future shifts. Standalone ideas. Sonic Riders is a high-speed racing movie. Sonic Colors is a space adventure. Sonic Forces is a darker Resistance story. Drop the numbers. Keep the heart. Let Sonic rest. So when he comes back, it actually matters. And Sonic's future isn't about more movies. It's about smarter ones. If Paramount plays this right, this trilogy could define Sonic for an entire generation. So what's your take? Drop it in the comments, hit like, subscribe, and trust me, there's way more coming.